Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this, this is an investment of a journey of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with a return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing more details of conversation with Will Stuart and also the pros and cons of transferring to AST, as well as reactions to the previous video. So before we get started, let's have a quick look at what's happening in the market. So first, headline here from Yahoo Finance is with regard to what's happening this week. So we know there has been a recent stock market rally. In terms of what's happening right now, there is an eye on the Fed, and in terms of what's happening on Thursday, corporate earnings calendar, first of all, is obviously closing on Tuesday, and then Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman, is going to be speaking in front of the House Financial Services Committee, and I think that conversation, that speech will certainly be important with regard to what's happens to the market, and investors will be watching very carefully. Let's start by getting some reactions to the previous video where we talked about Will Stuart and his decision to try to move all his shares with AST. So first reaction here from Tony Twits, and this is a reference to some of the trolls who are still having a little bit of suspicion about Will. This is a topic that has been cleared up previously, so everybody who has been following for a while will know that this matter has been dealt with. However, there are still some elephants that keep forgetting, so elephants will troll, so don't worry about the elephants. But what Tony is saying here, he has personally met Will and he has no reason to distrust him. Will didn't put a U3 halt on me. Will didn't change the story of my NextBridge hydrocarbon share obligations, and Will didn't tell me that I could register my NextBridge hydro shares anytime I wanted, and then say it would take weeks on end. So obviously Will is making his own decisions, but let's now have a look at some other reactions. So first shout out here to Adrian, and what he stated is an important reminder in terms of AST. So Adrian has previously tried to send back the shares with AST. He's registered shares to my broker, and for some reason this cannot be done. So we're talking about bringing back the shares from AST back into MMTLP. So he has a letter here from AST, and it states here, we received your transfer request regarding the above reference account. We cannot transfer the shares for the following reasons. First of all, NextBridge Hydrocarbons is not DRS or DWAC eligible. The following documents are being returned to you. Letter of instruction, transfer form. So it certainly looks like there are obstacles in bringing them back to MMTLP. So if anybody is looking to move to back to MMTLP after moving to AST, that is something that you need to think about. So reaction here from Smokey, who stated, if you want to transfer back from AST, it is electronic. They just transfer the shares back to your brokerage account. He's asked TradeStation, and they said it's like transferring from one broker to another. It's literally just a QSIP going into your broker, but again would rely on NextBridge to make the shares tradable again. And I think that last sentence is the key sentence, and that means basically it cannot yet be done, and that's because of the letter that we've received, Adrian has received. So in theory it could be done, but in reality it looks like it's not going to happen. And the other obstacle I'd like to share with you, again, another shout out to Tony, in terms of one of the reasons why brokers certainly seem to be doing something underhand, and that is with regard to E-Trade here. He stated here, E-Trade is charging or threatening to charge an outrageous transfer fee of $1,000 to customers who attempt to transfer shares to AST. I think they don't have the shares, so we're talking about the brokers, and trying to discourage people from transferring what they do have. So this could be one of the reasons, or should I say this is one of the reasons why Will has decided to make this decision to transfer. So in one of the space chats today, today, William Stuart did join, and there was more conversation and there was more clarity in terms of some of the statements that he shared with me in the previous video. So I'm going to share with you today some of the points he also raised in today's space chat, in addition to what was covered in yesterday's video. So first of all, what William stated is what you could do, or if you choose to, you could choose to call your broker and ask them, what if I want to move some of my shares to AST? So this is not necessarily basically saying you are going to move your shares, but it's just a question to ask them to see what their reaction is. He also believes broker dealers have had it easy for 6 months, and in theory they looks like they do not want this to trade, and what they don't want is also for it to your shares to be moved to AST. And the reason why they probably don't want your shares to be moved to AST is because A, either they don't have your shares, or B, because of obviously there's a number of synthetics out there, it would create a huge problem for them. So certainly broker dealers don't want you to move your shares to AST. So with regard to his request, William has also said he's not sure if his transfer request will happen or it will go through, but he is certainly going to push for it. And in terms of a change of opinion, so he did also say initially up till March, he was of the opinion that it will trade again, and that is true. He was saying that on a number of occasions, and many people in the community still believe that. So theoretically, in my opinion, that is still possible, but according to Will, he's saying he now believes it is not going to trade. One of the reasons why he stated that's not going to happen is because of FINRA. So FINRA has government backing, and Will is now moving on, and he believes that FINRA cannot be beaten, and FINRA is obviously with their claims of absolute immunity, and with their recent successes in the legal cases so far that we've heard, that has led to William having a little bit of a change of heart. He's also stated here he knows that NextBridge are working on positive things, so that's quite bullish. He also believes that there could be announcement soon, but he does not have any inside information, and that is what we are waiting for. With regard to broker dealers, key difference between broker dealers and FINRA is broker dealers have no immunity, and actually have a legal contract with you. So you as in the MMTLP investors. So this is a good point, and this is correct. Broker dealers do have no immunity. They also have a legal contractual obligation to deliver your shares and provide you with that contract. So in terms of litigation, this is certainly an area that could be pursued and could be focused on. So with regard to AST, William also believes the boat is slowly starting to fill. So he wants to start this process by being one of the key people to make that move. And in terms of finishing off the conversation, obviously it is a personal decision. It's a personal decision that he is now making for himself. He doesn't want to stay with the broker. He has lost trust with the broker. And obviously everybody makes their own financial decisions. In terms of what could happen, let's say theoretically, if AST becomes officially full. So this was one of the questions, and I think a key answer here is that would, certainly in my opinion, I believe if AST is officially full, that is significant evidence, therefore, of naked shorting. It's also significant evidence of synthetic shares. It's also evidence, as far as I'm concerned, of broker dealers having too much shares out there, more than were officially allowed. So I think that creates a huge problem for broker dealers, and I think litigation any litigation cases could therefore be much stronger. So that's something that could happen. In reality, obviously we're not there. AST is not officially full, so really it's a case of that is the next challenge that he's focusing on. And finally, in terms of my own personal position, I unfortunately don't have a choice to transfer or not to transfer, because it does depend on your broker. The European broker that I'm with is not giving that as an option. So if anybody wants to have a look at this with your own broker, you can certainly feel free to ask the question, hypothetically even. You don't have to make a decision. It is entirely personal. But certainly I do think it is worthwhile asking them about the process, also about the fees, and why they are charging these astronomical fees and what have they got to hide. Finally, let's finish off by giving a quick shout out to the weekly watch list. This was a review of the previous week's weekly watch list where we called out stocks such as SIEN. That was up over 30% on the Friday and also closed up in excess of 6% on the week. Sophie is another one we called out, up 20% Monday to Wednesday and also up 1.8% on the week. ORCL, that was up 9.6% on the week. ADBE, Adobe, was up 6.8% on the week with tremendous earnings. BRZE, that was up 5.7% on the week. IoT, up 5% on Monday to Wednesday, closed level on the week. SNOA, up 15% from Monday's dip to Wednesday, but then closed down 3% on the week. Not all calls are successful. DHC was also up 20% Monday to Wednesday. There was a sell-off and it was then down 6.2% on the week. So our next weekly watch list has now been shared with the exclusively with the Discord members, and we do have a number of interesting stocks that we are watching this week. So if you would like to get a copy of that, you can certainly join us in the Discord for less than $9 a month. One other thing I'm going to finish off with you is sharing a potential bullish chart here for Bitcoin. And I think just today, I think Bitcoin did get very, very close to $27,000, and I think it may have actually touched $27,000. If we have a look at the chart here, certainly looks like a cup and handle. I am hopeful that Bitcoin in the short term could get very, very close to $30,000 again. And finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.